All right, abusia mo akwa about the Ghana politics avenue so you be say be say any day di kan a wo be dwumadi so a wo be subscribe no wa sha ma from so sa ka dwumadi pa yi do Ghana politics avenue so hanum ne ma pay ko so Ghana politics mu ne de be down ene dey so ensa kan ne ma pie de bre nti be so bia so benya bre ne pene atena so no be enjoy program abusia mo re ne dey nsem ene dey ye OSP Kissi Agyabeng na no ho ache ndi ntina no ho ache no temamufoɔ no bi ate asi mmɔnten so ɛyɛ ɔyɛkyerɛ kyenkyerɛnkyɛ bi tia no deɛ nti na ɔmoyɛ ɔyɛkyerɛ tia no ɔmoyɛ ɔyɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛntu no adeɛ so ɛfiri sɛ ne nnwuma pa a wɔdi no ɛmmoa ɔman no na ɔsaa taataa nkurɔfoɔ akyi ma ɔmodi bɔne abusua yɛnsɛ ɔbrɛ no nti ɛbɛkɔ akɔtie nsɛm a ɛkɔɔ so wɔ nansa ne bɛtie nsɛm a ɛkɔɔ so ɛbɛsɛ bibia so ɔbɛsubscribe na wahyɛ ama foforɔ nso sa aka dwumadi a ɛkɔ yɛnkɔtie nsɛm
Kissi Agyabeng is under fire over what critics describe as inaction, and he now faces a public protest scheduled for tomorrow. Now, we hear from the convener and a few other persons as well who align with this particular issue. There's a planned demonstration against the special prosecutor, Kissi Agyabeng, scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday, November 25. The protest is dubbed Akroma protest. That's essentially that. Really, the job is on the ground, essentially. And now they're making the point that to the extent that high-profile corruption cases have not seen any meaningful progress, they're asking questions of the special prosecutor. Let's hear from the convener, Apostle Abraham Labi Lincoln. Earlier today, he spoke to the news team.
The theme for this demo is Akroma. We are marching. We are wearing our red, black. I beg me, I wear my gown like this, and I will go. This guy, I wear the same gown, and I will go and present my case. And if he doesn't listen and doesn't take it, then we know the sort of president he is. Let us march. We are marching straight to Jubilee House. Then we petition the president. President Kissi, we don't hate him. We don't have a problem with all that play. Either it will be dissolved and reformed, or sack all of them. Kissi need to be prosecuted. He even said need to be investigated.
Well, so that's the convener for this demonstration tomorrow, but that's just one of the issues. Another issue that played out earlier today is a post that Manasseh Azere Awoni, he is an investigative journalist, put on his Facebook, which has attracted some responses from the special prosecutor as well. And I'm just going to run through it briefly. We'll look at what the special prosecutor's office responded to Manasseh's post. And Manasseh is going to be joining us in a bit. But this is what Manasseh put earlier. It's just a summary of it. It's quite a long one. It says, the OSP has not put Ken Oforiatta and NS Akore on stop list. NS Akore is one of the persons in this SML case who's been prosecuted. Now, he goes on to say, under the previous administration, the OSP did not request a stop order for either of the two men. That's number one. Two, the OSP admits it avoided doing so because it did not trust the security institutions to cooperate. You recall that when Kissi Agyabeng spoke to KSM in that interview, he did reference what Manasseh is captured in his post. Manasseh goes on to say that under the current administration, despite claiming improved cooperation, the OSP still has not requested a stop order. Immigration sources confirm no stop order exists for either Ken Oforiatta or NS Akore. What that essentially means is that they can come in and go out without anybody stopping them. And that's what Manasseh is raising concerns about. Well, this particular position got a response from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. That is Sami Dakon, who is the Director of Strategy and Communications of the OSP. He said the Special Prosecutor never said he wrote to the security chiefs at the time to stop Ken Oforiatta. He said it was pointless because his cousin, the president, had already cleared him to travel. And he had also written to the incoming chief of staff stating that anytime he was needed, they should invite him and he would return. This is it. That anytime he was needed and he's invited, Ken Oforiatta said he would return. That's the assurance he gave to the incoming or the now chief of staff, Julius Zebra. As to whether this assurance has been fulfilled, It's another matter. In any case, he says the heads of institutions at the time had refused to cooperate with the OSP on several occasions. Your argument, Manasseh, about the travel stop list is immaterial. This matter involves an extradition process, which is fundamentally different from the routine stop list mechanism. We are working to bring them back. You are speaking as though the issue is about preventing them from leaving. Trust the OSP when it says that Ken Ofori-Atta and Esakore will not be able to sneak into Ghana under any circumstance. They are under constant watch, and if they attempt to re-entry, law enforcement will intercept them. It is the OSP's investigations that established Ken Ofori-Atta as the key actor in the SML matter and identified Esakore as his facilitator. In fact, Akore's role was uncovered much later. At the time he traveled, he was not even a person of interest. Now, there's a bit more into this, but I just want to stay the steam on this particular point, right? That the OSP makes. That Manasseh Azura winning this matter is different from what he put out. Manasseh is joining us on Zoom right now. Manasseh, good evening.
Good evening, Alfred.
Thank you for connecting with us. Now, I start off from this point that the Special Prosecutor's Office makes to your post earlier today. They say that your argument about the travel stop list is immaterial because the matter involves an extradition process which is fundamentally different from the routine stop list that you are asking for. Manasseh.
Well, I'm not asking for it. There have been debates ongoing. And the debate has been that some security chiefs in the past administration did not cooperate with the OSP. And this conversation arose because some people said he watched Ken Ofori-Atta leave the country. And so my point was to find out from these people, if someone is saying you did not cooperate and they were helpless, what was the situation at the time? Did the person approach you and request your help in this matter? And they said no. And I just wanted to find out, even if now the person or these people are on the stop list. And I was surprised to learn that they are still not there. When I spoke to the OSP, I spoke to the Special Prosecutor himself. He said that, look, there are mechanisms to pick them up. They wouldn't even get to the immigration desk, something I also put there in the write-up. But the security chiefs said that if someone is on a stop list, they don't only concern themselves with the airport. We have the seaport and the land borders across. So if there is no formal communication to put someone on the stop list, then the person going through the system may not be apprehended, because if you don't have the orders to stop somebody from traveling or getting in, you cannot do that. So these are the facts that I've put out there. And some of the comments they have made to the effect that their investigation established Ken Ofori-Atta as a key whatever. I think that was said in the documentary in 2023.
Well, but that's what Hamid Ako is saying, that in this statement in response to you, he says it is their investigation, the OSP's investigation, that uncovered Ken Ofori-Atta as the key architect in this entire SML thing. You disagree?
Well, anybody who cares to revisit our documentary would see Ken Ofori-Atta in even the promo of that documentary. The online stories, the very first online story, it is still online, published in December 2023. The title is, the headline, "The 3 billion cedi lie. Government pays hundreds of millions to a company in a shady deal." The first photograph there is Ken Ofori-Atta, and then you have Christian Soti, who is the managing director of SML. So at every material point, we mention this. And as Akore was also mentioned, and if Ghanaians care to know, the OSP has confessed that at the time Ernest Akore was leaving the country, that was almost the end of 2024, the Office of the Special Prosecutor did not know that he was a person of interest. That is right. I agree with them. And that is because as of 2024 November, the Office of the Special Prosecutor of the Republic of Ghana had not started the SML investigation. And I'm saying this on authority. Tomorrow I'll provide the evidence.
I see. Now, that leads me to this part of the statement. Because, and if that also surprises you, we'll get into it, that Kenoforiata had, as at the time, written to the incoming chief of staff, that's Julius Debra, stating that anytime he was needed, they should invite him and he will return. I mean, is it the case that, from what you do know, this invitation has not been extended to him, that's why he hasn't returned? Because there was an assurance specifically in the communication between him and Julius Debra.
If the OSP acted on this trust, I don't fault them. But when you say this and then you go on to make a point that seems to suggest that a person left because you didn't have the cooperation from others to stop him, then the two statements are not very, they are not aligned. So is the OSP telling us that action was not taken because they believed the man would return, or action was not taken because people, security heads, did not cooperate to stop him? So I think we should be very clear. All these things I'm putting out there is to help us put the debate in perspective. I have been supportive of the OSP. I support the bringing in of Kenoforiata because he has presided over our resources, and if he has misused them, as is the case in these investigations and others that he's accused of, then he should come back and respond to. So I'm all for this, but we have to build an institution that would be accountable to all of us. We have to build an institution that takes responsibility. President Akuffo Addo did well by setting up the office. He had his own problems, but Martin Amidu's appointment showed that at least he was very committed to making that office work. Akuffo Addo is no longer in office. I don't want people to, for lack of a better word, sleep on the job and begin to cast insinuations that, oh, the cousin was the president, so we couldn't do much. Are we saying that tomorrow someone can look back and say, well, there was this scandal, we couldn't do much because Mahama was president and his brother was involved, or his relative or his friend was involved? No. Akuffo Addo was president when journalists such as us did this story and exposed Kenoforiata and his role in this. So my point is, let us look at the issues. If you are arguing that at the time the person was leaving, everything showed that he was coming back and you didn't have any reason to stop him, it could be a fair argument. If you are also saying that you could not stop him because the security people, the heads of the immigration, the NIB and national security did not support you, then we will be asking, did you reach out to them? The question is no. Why didn't you reach out? Well, I knew that they would not cooperate with me. That's why I didn't reach out. And that's the argument I've been having with Mr. Kissi Agyabeng. If you reach out to them and they did not support you, then you would have a case. But you can't just assume that they wouldn't support you, you don't reach out, and then you blame them. So these are some of the facts I'm trying to put out there so that when we are having this discussion, everybody knows that the people were not reached out to. They were not written to stop.
Manasseh, on that bit about what he said regarding the other security agencies and the lack of cooperation, he said during the previous administration, this is a response to you, it was the heads of the certain institutions who were accused of non-cooperation, not the institutions themselves. So those individuals are no longer in office. But Kissi,
Well,
Kissi actually never said that in the video. Is that interview?
He did not say what?
This particular quote that Samit Akon, put out in response to you.
Yes, I didn't hear that.
Yes.
What I heard was that the security services were not cooperating, only the Ghana Police Service.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what I heard. But how can you say that the heads were not cooperating, but the institutions themselves would have cooperated? I think the institutions are not the buildings, it's the people and the management that run them. But the point I'm just trying to make is that these are facts that I want to put out there, so that when we are having this debate, we now know that the special prosecutor did not write to them, and he has his reasons. In the current administration that the office says they are cooperating, they have not been written to put Ken on a stop list. Mm-hmm. He has his reason. So that if any of the suspects or the accused sneak in and out, we know who to place the blame on. And as journalists, it is part of our responsibility to put these facts out there to get the public to know who did what, who did not do what, so that they make up their minds.
Part of the statement that Samit Akon put out earlier, contesting the figures involved in this entire, SML matter. He says that the perpetrators intended to grant SML about $100 million over 5 years. That's what you stated, your petition stated. However, the OSP's investigation revealed that the actual intended amount exceeded $2.7 billion. So they've done quite some work, more than you, Manasseh.
Alfred, I'm not contesting that they did more work than us. I am on record to have commended the OSP on the investigation they have done. Mm. The OSP has the power to arrest people, to break into servers and search, to compel people to bring documents. We didn't have all of that. So I'm not here to contest who did what work and who did what. But I'm just telling you that if you ever get Samit Akon or Mr. Kissi Agyabeng himself, these two figures they have mentioned, it is not true that we said 100 million dollars for the period of the contract. Our investigation said that the company was entitled to over $100 million every year for a period of 5 years. Mm. And if you look at the KPMG report, they said 5-point-something billion cedis, which is in line with ours. The petition we wrote to, we never said $100 million in the entirety of the contract. Right. And they cannot produce this. And two, challenge the office of the special prosecutor to give you the basis for which the 2.7 billion cedis is mentioned, dollars is mentioned as how much they were going to pay SML. That is false, Alfred. Mm. That is false.
I see.
They cannot provide you evidence to show that the contract sum over the period of 5 years was $2.7 billion. At most, we're looking at about $110 million per year. So if you look at the 5 years, you are looking at $550 million as the contract sum.
I see.
It is not up to $1 billion. It's not up to $2 billion. It's not up to $2.7 billion. And don't take my word for it. Just ask the special prosecutor and whoever is listening. They should just publish where they got that figure from. I think it is a way of figure to also bloat out their impact.
Right.
And in the coming days, don't take my word for it. Don't take Manasseh's word for it. Let us challenge the special prosecutor to present a document
that details the $2.7 billion.
Yes, any document that said that the contract sum was $2.7 billion, that we're going to pay $2.7 billion to the SML. If you look at the contract, the fees are stated. It says $0.75 per barrel of the oil production sector. That's the upstream. And if you make the calculation based on how much we produce, you can get a figure. And the gold mining sector is 0.75% of total production, and it is there. So I don't see how somebody will go and take a figure. I'm told they are using a certain PPA letter.
I see.
And I have a different PPA letter from this
that details a different figure.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know where they are coming from. They can publish it.
Right.
It is not about whether Manasseh did a better job or what. It's for the interest of the state. But I challenge them to publish the contract and tell us where in that contract $2.7 billion is mentioned. They cannot produce that.
I see. And it's a direct challenge you put to them. Thank you for this. Martin Pebu is also joining us. He's a private legal practitioner. And yesterday, there was an X-Space conversation that Samit Akko was on again. And he did indicate, like Martin Pebu, that you were invited on Friday, last Friday, and you failed to show up, or you were invited to appear before the OSP, and you failed to show up on Friday. How come? What happened?
So, what I can say is that I did not receive the invitation on time. At the time I saw the invitation, it was way too late. That was yesterday night. And how did I even see it? It's because yesterday night, my attention was drawn to a media engagement he did, where he alleged that I had been called 15 times and I didn't pick up. Then later I heard he said I picked up, but I was in a meeting on Thursday. Yes, so the one about I picked up, I was in a meeting sounds more credible, because if I'm in a meeting, you know, sometimes you can whisper in an Addo.
Alright, Abusian, so to me and to was 18 seminar, you were Kissi Agyabeng and who I channel. And I'm demonstration I'm for year ninety Najuma Yashren. Yes, celebrating Ted. We say, I'm say a Ghana Politics Avenue, so you should be a subscribe. No, Shama for Francis, I can you made the pay do a hand.